you guys like that? Did you like the opening sequence? Let me know. Anyway, welcome to Storytime episode number 2. Today we're gonna be talking about gratitude and being grateful for what others are doing for you, or what others have done for you in the past. I'm gonna be talking about specifically my parents in this episode because they've done a lot for me. We're gonna talk about how my parents impacted me getting the job I have. I'm a flight attendant, as you know, and it's actually a funny story. In 2011, I was still enrolled in the University of Suriname, the attendant University. Here on the Leesweg, was joking around, I wasn't serious, and my mom was like, hey, you gotta get a job very soon, because the way I see you going around with your studies, no, it's not gonna work, get a job. But my dad was like, no, he can't get a job, otherwise, who will look after the family business? La 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 la. Anyway, I sent in an application to the airline that I work for, applying for any available jobs, even if it was gonna be a janitor, anything. You know, you can always work your way up from what you have. So I sent in an application like, hey, this is me applying for a job. You know, doesn't matter what it is, call me. But I put in my cell phone number instead of my home number. Anyway, a few weeks went by and they called to the home number. They were like, hey, we have your application form here, we have a job if you're interested. Unfortunately, my father picked up the phone and he asked, and he was also working at the company at the time, at the department they called for, OCC. For you guys who don't know what OCC is, that's the operational department of any airline. They make the flight plans and calculate the weight of the aircraft, how much fuel has to go in. You know, they sign the form and they give it to the pilot. And the pilots check if they're okay with anything they see on the forms and stuff like that. So my dad picked up and he was like, yeah, what department do you got for him? Do you have for him? And he said, well, the same department you're working in, sir. And he was like, no, call back when you have another job at your disposal. So few more weeks went by, and this time there was a solicitation for flight attendant. But I didn't have any ambition to be a flight attendant at that time, because, you know, I was enjoying life, as you can say, you know, enjoying the school life, leeching off of my parents. So my mom asked me, don't you want to be a flight attendant? I was like, no. She was like, why? I said, because I'm going to be away from my friends, and this is not really the job you should have if you want to start a family later on. Yes, I was thinking about having a family at that time in my life. I was thinking about the future. I said, no, I'm not interested. But as you know how mothers are, she sent in the application for me without me knowing. So a couple of days went by and they called again, but this time they called to my cell phone number. So I picked up and was like, yeah, this is Edwin. Who's this? Yes, Mr. Edwin, we have an application here from you for our flight attendant position. Flight attendant position? I never applied for that. They were like, okay, but we have your form here anyway. Would you like to come by for the interview? Stuff like that. I was like, okay. So I went home. Told my mom about, Mom, they called me for the flight attendant position. She said, yes. She said, yes. I sent in the form for you. But actually, your aunt sent it in for you. Because my little cousin also applied for the job. And so my mom asked my aunt, can you write an application form for him? You know, so she did. They sent it in, and voila, they called for the interview. I was like, okay, okay, okay. So a couple of weeks went by to the date that the date of the interview. But unfortunately, it was a very dark day. The day of my interview, my grandfather passed away. So I wasn't really feeling it, but I was like, my mom and my aunt put so much effort in this just so I can be part of the flight attendant family. So I put that aside, my grandfather passing away, just for the moment of the interview. And the interview was a success. I had a repeat interview a week or two later. I had a repeat interview. This time it was with HRM. We talked, and out of all the interviews that they had, they made a selection of 25 people. And luckily I was part of that 25. So the training started in February, March of 2011. 2011, I think, yeah. It was a training, passed the training with success, I might say. Well, not really with success. I failed the first time, and the second time I did pass. Because, you know why I failed? Because I joked too much. I failed because I joked too much. Anyway, time went by. I succeeded the first part of my training with success. After that we went to Amsterdam for the door drills, firefighting, stuff like that, because we don't have our own facility here in Suriname. So stuff like that we do have to do in another country, be it the Netherlands, America, whichever option is available. So we went to the Netherlands with a group of 25 people. And the day the flight we had from Suriname to the Netherlands was my first ever. It was my first ever mid-Atlantic flight. Any flights I had prior to that was from Suriname to Miami. That was only one time in my life, and I think I was about 4 or 5 years old, so I can't remember much of that. But once we got there, all during the flight, all the way to Holland, I was like, this is nice. This is very nice. So we got to Holland for the first time. Me also for the first time. We arrived in Amsterdam. Schiphol airport, it was so big. Everything was so new to me. And then we got outside. I was like, this is Amsterdam? Oh my God. It was very beautiful to see for the very first time. We did the training at Schiphol, passed it with success. We came to Suriname again, the group of 25, and they selected, out of those 25, they took the 20 best people and gave us the jobs. That's how I became a flight attendant. This is literally the best job in the world. The best job in the world. It has its ups and downs, but all the ups make up for all the downs. Just saying that. So guys, if you're ever in the opportunity to apply for a job as flight attendant, do it. You won't regret it. Really, you won't. And all that fear of not being able to start a family with this job, boy was I wrong. Boy was I wrong. Because it doesn't matter what job you have, if you want something, you and your partner must be willing to work for it. You want a family, you must be willing to work for it. So that's how I got my job as a flight attendant. Always be grateful. Because if it wasn't for my dad picking up the phone that day, telling them to call me back if they have another job available, I wouldn't be here right now. 2, if it wasn't for my mother and my aunt sending in that application form for this job, I wouldn't be here. So I'm very grateful to my late father, Dad, up there in heaven. I'm very grateful what you've done for me, and Mom at home, I'm very grateful what you've done for me. Auntie at home, I'm also very grateful for what you've done for me. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Story Time. It's a short story. I hope the stories get better over time because I do have a lot of stories. A lot of them having to do with my job, but I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about all of them. But we'll see. I just have to check with the company first. But we'll see. Alright? That's it for today, guys. Stay safe. Stay at home. Bye.